H2O, gotta love it. What's going on, people? Yes, it's been a minute. Get busy with life, can't make videos like I used to. It's all good, but this video I'm doing in response to Dante562 who put out a video called Bob Arum and Pacquiao Steel. Now I'm gonna put the link to that video in the description box right down there if you haven't seen it. Good video. Good video. He hits some very key points and it makes complete sense. It's just one thing he left out to me, which makes even more sense. And he won't even bash me for saying it because even though he didn't mention it, he knows this. So it's more like, yeah, I should have said that too. And it's totally legit. Now in this video, he's breaking down how it's kind of strange that when it comes to Pacquiao's next opponent that they've been talking about, Timothy Bradley is not #1 on the list. And he's breaking down in the history of controversial decisions how champions have always wanted to come back and redeem themselves, and people who got gifted decisions that never wanted to, they ran. And he talks about historic matches where this has happened. And yeah, that's true. But one thing me and him can agree on, and I always say Bob Arum is a crook, but Bob Arum knows boxing. I've said that plenty of times. He's where he's at today because his knowledge of the sport. And when it comes down to Pacquiao next opponent, it has nothing to do with a title. Belts mean nothing in current boxing. It means absolutely nothing. So yeah, should Pacquiao want to get his belt back? Yeah. But does it really mean anything? No. I don't care what title you hold, the alphabet titles or the real titles, it makes no difference. Now, in the state of boxing, it's all about star power. Star power trumps belts any day now. And this has been proven over the course of the years. Like let's say, for instance, what was his name? Arturo Gatti. Gotti didn't need a belt. He had star power. He was the ultimate blood and guts warrior. If you love the ultimate blood and guts warrior, it didn't matter if it was just a fight for an interim belt, fight for a championship, or just a fight with somebody you knew was going to give him a fight. You tuned in to watch. Oscar De La Hoya, same thing. He didn't need to fight for a belt. He had star power. People are going to come out because he had star power. He was an attraction. A belt didn't mean nothing. Recent events, Adrian Broner opted for health over his belt. Why? Because he's banking on star power. Star power trumps belts in this day and age to the umpteenth power, I'll put it that way. So when it comes down to Pacquiao's next opponent, it's who has the biggest star power. Now, of course, they're going to leak the obvious names. Juan Manuel Marquez, Miguel Cotto, and because it should be Timothy Bradley. Why? To see who has the biggest star power. To see who's going to put more butts in the seats, more pay-per-view buys. Now, I think behind the scenes when it comes to Marquez is gunning for a fight in Mexico City, Mexico. And, of course, pay-per-view buys won't be affected by that. But box office ticket sales would be compared to having that fight in Vegas or wherever at in the United States. Because you got to think, at the end of the day, the value of currency is still a lot more in the United States than it is in those foreign countries. And yes, people will travel to go see the fight and pay top dollar for seating. It won't be the same as in Vegas, or like he wants to always go to Dallas. It won't be the same. So he's going to take a L there as far as the possible monies that he can make. That's one reason why I think he is kind of hesitant to just say, okay, this is Pacquiao's next opponent. I think he's trying to persuade Juan Manuel Marquez to say, hey, look, you stand to make more. We all stand to make more if we just do this in the States. We do this in Vegas, or we do this in Dallas, where you got a very big Mexican community there. We stand to make more. So I think it's some negotiations on the back end as far as that's concerned. Of course, you're going to throw Cotto name out there because he's one of the biggest star powers in the welterweight and junior middleweight division that can easily go up and go down a few pounds or so. Like, case in point, they're trying to do another catchweight fight. And then you got Timothy Bradley, the revenge fight. At the end of the day, what package stands to make more money? Because that's all Bob Arum cares about. We all know that he is the puppet master. Whatever Pacquiao wants, Pacquiao doesn't get. The only thing Pacquiao will ever get that he wants is retirement. Because Bob Arum, at the end of the day, will not stop a man from. He cannot stop a man, even though he might make him pay out of the pocket a little bit. He cannot stop a man from retiring. But when it comes to the puppet master pulling Pacquiao strings, it all comes down to what Bob Arum wants. What package deal will net everybody the most money? Especially Bob Arum. And as it stands right now, unless it's a big, retardedly big outcry for the rematch fight of Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley, that's not even an option. Because a rematch fight with them, well, let me rephrase, since the general population thinks that the robbery was so one-sided that a fight is not even warranted. When it comes to Bob Arum, his thinking is, if this is the case, will people pay as much for that fight compared to a Miguel Cotto fight, who Miguel Cotto has his U.S. following along with the country of Puerto Rico? Will this net the same type of money with a fight with Marquez, who has U.S. fans, including the whole country of Mexico? No. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's all about star power, who brings the money in. Belts mean nothing in the sport of boxing anymore when it comes to making money. Because if it did, Adrian Broner would have did whatever he had to do to make weight for his fight. And I'm not going to go back into history with all the champions who possibly just gave up belts or whatever have you. I want to just talk about people that's fresh in your mind. Fresh in your mind. Because there's no sense in me going all the way back when the casual fan don't probably know some of those people. Or don't know enough about those people to say, okay, yeah, you're right. So at the end of the day, as bogus as it might be that Pacquiao will not rematch Timothy Bradley right away, it's pretty obvious. Me personally, when it comes down to it, and it's piggybacking off of Dante 562, he said, basically summing it up, that it could possibly be a lose-lose. He could either Pacquiao could get in the ring with Timothy Bradley and possibly lose, or he could get in the ring with Juan Manuel Marquez and possibly lose. But what is that possibility against Miguel Cotto? I think in the long run, the only thing that will stop Pacquiao's next opponent from being Miguel Cotto is Miguel Cotto opting to try to fight Canelo Alvarez. Which would make more sense for him because, of course, everybody likes a strap around their waist, even though it means nothing. But Canelo Alvarez is starting to grow as far as star power is concerned. So, would Miguel Cotto opt for a couple more dollars or to rule a division? So I think Pacquiao's next opponent all depends on what Miguel Cotto does. Once Miguel Cotto opts in or out, that's when Marquez becomes an option. Or um, that's when Timothy Bradley becomes an option. And the only way I would think that the only way I think Marquez could take himself completely out the running and if he say, okay, I give in. We don't have to fight this in Mexico City. We can do this in Vegas or Dallas or wherever you want to do it. But if he stands fast on his belief, I want this fight in Mexico City because we get robbed in the States while I'm fighting this guy. It's gonna be that way, basically. So once again, I'm just saying one last time. It depends on Miguel Cotto opted for Canelo Alvarez. Marquez saying, nope, I don't care what you say, I want to fight in Mexico City. That's when Bradley becomes an option. Because at the end of the day, it's about star power. Who is going to bring more money to the seats, to the pay-per-views? And right now, out of the three options, Bradley is number 3. Number 3. Actually, I want to say number 4. He's number 4 because we all know at the top of that list is Floyd Mayweather. So again, Floyd Mayweather number 1. That's if he opts to fight this year. Miguel Cotto, if he doesn't opt to fight Canelo Alvarez. Juan Manuel Marquez, if he stands fast in fighting in Mexico City, and then Timothy Bradley. That's what it comes down to. Pacquiao has no say. Star power rules because dollars make sense and belts don't make that sense anymore. But that's my 2 cents. Get up out of here. Till the next video. Doses.